Tell me why you're laughing. You don't see them at all as a competitor?
No.
Why is that? I mean, they offer a lower price point.
I don't think they have a great product.
Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Wherever you are watching from, we hope you are safe and doing well. We are back with a fresh new video in which we will talk about the EV race between USA and China. So, without wasting any further time, let's jump straight into the video. Demand for electric vehicles. Back in day, when vehicles used to run only on diesel or petrol, and then came a revolution in the automotive industry, electric vehicles. Electric vehicles became the talk of the town because they ran on a non-exhausting source of energy, but the price tags featured on the luxurious vehicles were quite hefty, and thus, they were popular only on papers. However, over time, electronic cars became more and cheaper as compared to the previous costs. Today, a demand for electric cars, or EVs, is rising throughout the world. This increasing demand has created a widespread competition around the globe for both manufacturers as well as the greater powers. On one hand, automakers belonging to the United States, Tesla Motors, and China, BYD Co., are locking horns against each other to beat each other's annual revenue collection, as well as market shares. On the other hand, the nations of the United States of America and China are in a fight for who would be more influential and acquire energy independence. It is quite evident that parent nations and their respective manufacturers are engaged in separate conflicts. However, both of them are dependent on each other for their respective successes. They also need each other for supply of necessary tools, as well as resources to come up with innovations and stay in competition. Forces present in the market and competing internationally. Let's look at this from where it all starts, the manufacturers. There are a handful of US-based as well as China-based manufacturers who compete internationally to become dominant in the global market of electric vehicles. Let's discuss about the manufacturers of the United States first. In the US, we have Tesla as well as General Motors, who carry the title of unbeaten companies when it comes to electric vehicles. When we combine both of their sales, Tesla Motors and General Motors account for approximately one-half of 358,000 electric vehicles that were sold throughout 2018. When we talk about China, the two electric vehicle companies which dominate the game are BYD Co. and BAIC. Both these giants together accounted for around one-third of a total of 500,000 electric vehicles that were sold in all of China in the year 2017. Statistically speaking, China is by far the largest market for electronic vehicles in the whole world. This does not come as a surprise to us, mainly because of the population of the country. Another interesting fact is that Chinese manufacturers, state-owned, when put together, come out to be highest volume producers of electronic vehicles in the whole world. Fascinating, isn't it? Throughout the last decade, China was the undisputed king when it came to being the globally dominating country in the race for electronic vehicles. Both these supernations have invested in different aspects in the electric vehicle industry. How? We have an answer for you. The United States have put in money and resources to improve the technology of the cars. Innovations bring revolutions after all. On the other hand, US rival China has invested heavily in improving the infrastructure. If we look at it carefully, we will realize that both of them have taken smart investment decisions. China has a very broad market, and to meet the demand, they need to upscale their production centers. US strategy to invest into technological innovations is also sensible because their infrastructure is already solid. So what has China actually been doing? They have been putting up charging stations all around because it is an absolute necessity when it comes to electric vehicles. Thousands of charging stations are being set up by China every month. So the question arises, is China really ahead of US in terms of the number of charging stations? The answer is yes. When we compare both of them, China's infrastructure can put US to shame. As per projections, it is estimated that by the year 2030, 1 of 3 cars in China will be an electric vehicle. Achieving such a feat in a decade will be a monumental success in the EV game for China if they manage to pull this off. When we look at this figure from a comparative point of view with respect to US, less than 1 in 7 EVs in the States will be an EV by the end of the decade. Another reason why China wins here is that its infrastructure will achieve another goal. The infrastructure will pay massive dividends when it comes to energy security and a massive reduce in the greenhouse gas emissions. The future, EV tech and energy security. All in all, over two-thirds of approximately 20.5 million oil barrels are consumed. In what? So much oil gets used up every single day as fuel for transportation vehicles who move stuff around and ship them to different parts of the country. Massive number, isn't it? Now imagine if all of this fuel could get saved if only there were vehicles which ran on a replenish-able source of energy. If this were the case, the United States would technically be way less dependent on other nations for oil. Another advantage would be that there would be way less carbon emissions, which in turn would result in cleaner air. So many birds could be hit with one stone. What is the main objective here then? The objective is to harness sources of energy for electric vehicles. The US understood this very long ago, which is why they invested a whopping amount of approximately $1.3 billion. 6 government bodies of the United States spent the amount between 3 years, 2009 to 2012. The amount was spent on several projects, as well as initiatives which aimed at the development of more efficient batteries. The numbers continue to grow even today. Innovation in this sphere is not only restricted to the US government. Tesla has also been focusing very much on battery innovation. In a closed deal, Tesla spent hundreds of millions of bucks in order to acquire a developer of batteries that aims to achieve longevity of electric vehicle batteries. In order for electric vehicles cost to be lower than other vehicles, combustion engine vehicles, the cost kilowatt hour needs to be less than 150 bucks. Reports show that if proper money is invested into the technology, the cost of the batteries which power up EVs could drop down to as low as 73 bucks per kilowatt hour, and this feat could be achieved by 2030. However, the development mission of US comes with a rather big catch. In terms of manufacturing supremacy, China holds the crown because it holds 2/3 of the globe's lithium-ion battery supply. In the US, Tesla is the only major name which produces batteries on a significant scale. This competition of manufacturing batteries will increase the price of both electric vehicles as well as the renewable energy, which in turn will also slow down the adoption of the two highly revolutionary technologies. What should be the priority of the US now? According to us, setting up of independent supply chains which maximize production. Maximizing the manufacturing of batteries, as well as investing into the development of more efficient batteries, should be top-tier priority for the United States. If they play their cards right and electric vehicles prosper, this could lead to lesser reliance of the US on other countries for oil. This is important because reducing reliance on other countries for oil has been a security goal for the US since ages. As of now, both the nations have been locked in a battle for supremacy over the EV race. China seems to be ahead in terms of infrastructure, but the US is Tesla. It is too early to say anything in favor of any nation. Let's wait to see who comes out superior. Well, we hope you liked today's video, in which we discussed the EV race between US and China. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with another amazing video. Until then, take care and stay safe. Peace.